Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. We had Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Lubin speaking of the power of the upgrade of Ethereum. And we keep hearing about the environmental agenda. Ethereum upgrade fixed that. Scaling. Ethereum upgrade fixes that. And of course, fees. Ethereum upgrade fixes that. But I've been over it time and time again how Ethereum is going to change everything that we do. Also, we know Joseph Lubin at Consistence is working on Federal Reserve 2.0. Also, we have Joseph Lubin and BIS Augustine speaking of Bitcoin. Augustine speaks bad of Bitcoin, but guys, we know when it comes to Bitcoin, you have Bitcoin Lightning. Like Lubin stated, people are working on that second layer, but look at the money that's behind Blockstream and that second layer. They work behind the curtain the same way as Facebook did, because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
On an upcoming edition of Bloomberg Studio One, I spoke with the guy who wrote the original white paper leading to the creation of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, about what the upgrade really means. Take a listen to what he had to say.
There will not be any more mining. Ethereum's energy consumption will go down by like a factor of more than 1,000. So it'll go from being a big problem to basically not a problem at all.
Now, I also want to bring in the co-founder and CEO of Consensus, Joe Lubin, also a co-founder of Ethereum. Joe Weisenthal still with us. So, Joe Lubin, a lot to unpack there. But with this upgrade, there will be no more mining. Energy consumption will go down by a factor of 1,000. Is that what's really going to happen?
Yeah, that's correct. And it is indeed one step along a long roadmap. We think of it as a paradigm shift in how the world architects itself. It's essentially the next step where one step is the democratization of the trust layer, where up till now it's been very centralized. Second step that's in full flight right now is the democratization of the global decentralized finance system. And this step is the introduction of something that people are calling ultrasound money. So where a fixed amount of gold on the planet and a fixed supply of Bitcoin represents sound money to certain people, with $13 billion worth of Ether locked up in Ethereum 2 and 70 billion locked up in decentralized finance. We have enormous demand for the Ether token, and now we're burning the Ether token with the introduction of the London hard fork and EIP 1559.
Buying by any sort of recognizable SEC regulations?
So I think it's certainly the case that there are projects out there that would be considered unregistered securities from the perspective of exchanges who are already looking at their listings. Some of those tokens can be delisted. There is a notion that the SEC introduced, Bill Hinman introduced that of sufficient decentralization. And so many of these projects, Ethereum itself was defined as sufficiently decentralized, and the Ether token was deemed to be not a security. And many of these projects are moving really rapidly and have had on the roadmap for a long time, decentralizing themselves. And so I think we'll see an orderly cleanup of some projects that look more like securities, but many projects are indeed. So the Ether token we think of as a crypto fuel. It has characteristics of a cryptocurrency, but it's used to pay for transactions and storage on the network. And the Ethereum ecosystem surpassed the Bitcoin ecosystem long ago in terms of the amount of developer activity, in terms of transaction number per day, in terms of transaction value, in terms of the number of tokens that are in existence and issued on the network. And Bitcoin is a brilliant use case. I think of it as a fractionalized NFT in its own right that many people can own. But as you indicated, Ethereum is a platform for decentralized applications. And I think you're basically asking, will the next generation internet or the next generation economy be bigger than a narrow money system? And so I would argue that yes, it will be orders of magnitude bigger.
Company that could say, you know what, we're going to hard fork, and if you don't upgrade to the new rules, then your node and your coins aren't going to work. Does that get in the way of being this sort of like universal trustless money, sound money, when there are actual like individuals like yourself and others who can theoretically push to change the rules?
So Bitcoin's mission is to be a narrowly focused sound money system, and the people, the developers in that ecosystem and the major users of that ecosystem say things like it's already found product market fit and it's already substantially complete. It'll certainly get a little better around the edges over time, and people are trying to build out a layer 2 on top of it, but that's not easy. And so it's doing well for what it wants to be, and the Ethereum ecosystem is akin to the internet ecosystem, and so it's going to have just so many different kinds of actors building out a very diverse ecosystem. So there will be many more voices. There already are many more voices in the Ethereum ecosystem that are prominent.
So with Ethereum 2.0, what will be possible that's not possible now? How will this change the internet as we know it? For example, will Facebook, Twitter, Google, centralized networks, centralized social networks be obsolete?
So Ethereum 2.0 enables us to keep doing what we're doing on Ethereum 1. The transaction will be smooth. You won't need to do anything in order to keep using applications that you like. Ethereum 2.0 will bring, as Vitalik indicated, roughly 1,000-fold reduction in the energy utilization footprint, much cheaper transactions. Layer 2 technologies that are building on top of Ethereum 1 right now are already bringing hundreds and thousands of transactions per second of increased scalability to our ecosystem. And so that's already reducing the cost of transactions. Many of the layer 2 technologies need available data, reliably available data. And so what Ethereum 2 will bring is an enormous amount of reliably available data. And so bring scalability and cost savings.
Where does the BIS stand on this?
Well, where we stand here is that we need to certainly take advantage of all the technology that is out there. For example, the technology on which Bitcoin is based, DLT blockchain is a wonderful technology, and I think we need to adopt it. Now, the real issue is the application. I think that Bitcoin, in the way it was formed, is not really delivering what it's supposed to deliver, which is a good substitute for cash. It's not a good deposit of value. It's not a good medium of exchange. It's hugely volatile. It's an ecological disaster. So what we want to do is to use the technology and offer people a better representation of really trusted money. What is the really trusted money that is out there? Well, it's basically cash. And today cash is just represented in papers and coins. And people are asking for digital solutions. And therefore, we have to raise to the challenge and provide them with cash.
We're going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.